what are we going to do about the current situation in Canada with our energy?
Well, first of all, I think that the industry has to start talking to everybody, our opponents, our supporters, etc. And we have to start educating. People have to understand the importance of Canadian energy, the value of it, what it brings to the country, both socially and economically. We absolutely have to start producing more energy here. We have to have egress to move it. If the threat of the 25% tariffs by the Trump administration demonstrates anything, we need a made-in-Canada solution that gets our energy produced and sold.
It showed us how weak our country is. Like, it's really funny because the Liberals are kind of doing about face right now. They're like, no, we need to get our energy to market. There's talk about the Energy East pipeline. We've got renewed vigor in our country. But it took a threat of Trump to kind of get us to be a little bit more patriotic. I didn't realize how bad our GDP was. I always thought it was good until I realized that California's double our GDP.
Yeah, and we're lower than the least performing states in the U.S. Like, our top performing province, Ontario, would be at the bottom should we become a 51st state.
Yeah. Germany, Japan, they came here asking for liquefied natural gas, and we told them no, there's no business case for it. What were we thinking? Like seriously,
we weren't.
Like, what has happened to our country? Like, it's bizarre. Is Trump justified in the border concerns?
I think he's justified in the border concerns, for sure. Addressing the concerns is not only good for the Americans, it's good for Canadians. On the reverse, the Americans also have a porous border. We know that there's a lot of guns that come up here. We know that there have been illegal migrants that have crossed, particularly through Roxham Road, from the U.S. into Canada. And so I think that has to be part of the negotiation discussion. It's not that we're all bad and they're all good. I think there is a way to collaborate for the benefit of both of our countries.
If we built, say, 3 pipelines, the Northern Gateway, the Keystone XL, and the Energy East, as well as really double down on our natural gas, that would be good, wouldn't it? It would be better for the world.
I think it'd be great.
Would Trump give Alberta a better deal than Canada?
I'd like to believe that Premier Smith's efforts to create a relationship, a personal relationship to some extent with President Trump, may lead to better outcomes for Alberta. I don't think it's a guarantee. I think it sort of depends how our federal government reacts and maybe what they do.
Tell me about your organization. What are you doing these days?
I have recently started a sustainability consulting business because I think there is a need to kind of disrupt what's going on within the ESG sustainability reporting. I think ESG and DEI is dying and or dead. There just isn't a cultural appetite for some of what was represented. You know, I still see our regulators moving forward, and I still think that there's a space for non-financial information disclosure and transparency from companies. So my hope with my business is that I'm helping smaller companies make sure they're in compliance and making sure that they're kind of telling their story effectively. And I think there's a real need for the industry to embrace the opportunities of telling the story, already positive story, in a public positive way. So I started Equipois Ability Advisory a few months ago, and as part of that, I'm also open to helping companies with some of their energy advocacy efforts as well. And that doesn't just include the oil and gas industry. I think you have mining, you have coal, you have the renewables sector that could use some advocacy support too.